Oh, nothing like a precious newborn baby. Oh, my
Sweet
goodness.
baby Lincoln.
Well, I'll see you again at 6, but count on News Channel 6 at 5:30 for more coverage you can count on. Tiffany Hobbs is here now to show us what's ahead.
Jenny, thank you so much. Coming up, we will have the latest on an arrest in that quadruple murder near the campus of the University of Idaho. What we're learning about the suspect coming up. And it was a big year in entertainment in 2022. We'll look back on the Hollywood headlines of the past year. That's all coming up next on News Channel 6 at 5:30.
Well, tomorrow, New Year's Eve, we now have a Viper 6 alert day posted for the potential of maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll detail it all out with Futurecast. We'll take you hour by hour what to expect. All coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 5:30, a break in the case of the quadruple murders near the University of Idaho campus. A suspect in custody tonight. We have the latest. Plus, former President Donald Trump's tax returns are being made public. We'll get a first look at those next. And the Mega Millions jackpot is soaring. We'll show you how people are hoping to ring in the new year as newly minted millionaires. Your news at 5:30 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for sticking around for News Channel 6 at 5:30. I'm Tiffany Hobbs. We begin, as always, with your local headlines at the bottom of the hour, including District Attorney Jared Williams announcing today that a swim instructor is facing involuntary manslaughter charges after a 4-year-old boy drowned during a lesson at her home. The DA issued an arrest warrant for Lexi Tenhusen and the drowning of Israel Scott. Scott drowned during a lesson in June. Authorities said Tenhusen was giving lessons to 9 other kids at the time. The DA also announcing that 7 Richmond County deputies involved in a tasing of a man who later died in custody have been cleared. Jermaine Jones was pulled over in October 2021 and tased after deputies said he tried to run away. He died at the hospital several days later. Williams says all 7 deputies have been cleared of criminal liability. And today is the last day of business for Stay Social Tap and Table in Evans. The business shutting down after the owner lost her alcohol license. The county said the business did not meet the requirement of selling at least 50% of sales being from food. Coverage you can count on continues now with the breaking news we've been following since News Channel 6 at noon. A suspect now under arrest in the murders of those 4 college students in Idaho. DeMarco Morgan has the latest.
28-year-old Brian Koberger taken into custody by Pennsylvania State Police and the FBI Friday morning. The suspect arrested after a criminal investigation into the brutal killings of 4 University of Idaho students led to Koberger's whereabouts in Monroe County, north of Philadelphia.
These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process.
Authorities received a tip that led them more than 2,500 miles across the country.
This was a very complex and extensive case. We had developed a clear picture over time, but be assured the work is not done. This has just started.
It was back in November that roommates Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, and Xander Coronado and Coronado's boyfriend Ethan Chapin were all discovered inside a house off campus, stabbed to death. 2 other roommates, who authorities say were asleep at the time of the killings, were not injured. An entire college town on edge for nearly 2 months, breathing a sigh of relief.
I think it'll be a massive exhale for a lot of people.
At a plea to the public, authorities sought for weeks for any information that could lead them to a suspect or a motive in the case.
This crime has nevertheless left a mark on our university, our community, and our state.
Moscow police still asking for the public's help in coming forward with any information about the gruesome murders. DeMarco Morgan, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Tim Miller, who is standing by. Tim.
Tiffany, we're taking a look here for tomorrow. This is our Viper 6 alert day, posted because, well, one of the reasons is this. It's a marginal risk of severe weather all across the region tomorrow for all the counties shaded in green. We'll have a lot more on that coming up. So there it is. Once we get through tomorrow, we're done with it. And then we'll move on off to some nice weather for New Year's Day. Clouds certainly building, obviously. We're cloudy skies at the moment. Our Terry Lambert Hunting Skyview cam, and a lot more moisture in the air. You could probably feel it. And warmer temperatures, 65 at Bushfield, 60 in Aiken. But notice it's 70 down in Swainsboro, so certainly much warmer. The winds are from the southeast, around 5-6 miles per hour. Satellite view shows clouds and a few little showers off to our east. More showers, though, well off to our west. I'll give you the broader perspective here. This is the area we're watching. It's sort of tilted a little bit. Look at these thunderstorms that are blowing up in the panhandle of Florida. That's the activity that will be headed our way really late tonight through much of the day coming up for tomorrow. But if you have plans for this evening, everything's fine. 60 at 7 o'clock. We'll fall to double nickels by about 10:55. So bring a light jacket, so not nearly as cold as it has been. But by 11 o'clock, that's when we start to get rain in our western viewing area. This will all move off towards the east. Look at 2 o'clock. Here comes this batch of showers and even a rumble of thunder through early morning hours. There's 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Heaviest activity off into Aiken. And there's 7 o'clock with some scattered showers around. Coming up, we'll continue from 7 o'clock in the morning on and look at the rest of our New Year's Eve. And then we'll talk about New Year's Day. So we're talking about first our alert day for tomorrow for those potential of some strong storms. We'll dive into all of that coming up with your forecast in just a few minutes. Tiffany.
Thank you, Tim. In Times Square, preparations are underway for the big New Year's Eve ball drop. Today, the ball was illuminated and given a test run up the 130-foot pole above Times Square. The ball is capable of displaying more than 16 million vibrant colors and billions of patterns to create a kaleidoscope effect. We hope you will join us to ring in the new year and watch that ball drop right here on WJBF. It all kicks off with Dick Clark's New Year's Eve Rockin' with Ryan Seacrest starting at 8 p.m. We will take a break at 10 for News Channel 6 at 11, and then at 10:30, the party starts up again as we continue to count down to 2023. Congressman-elect George Santos says he will serve one term on Capitol Hill and will not run for re-election. Santos has been under fire over discrepancies in his background. He's set to take office next week, and he said he will not step down despite calls for him to resign. Now, federal and local authorities are investigating whether Santos committed any crimes involving his finances. Santos has apologized for, quote, embellishing his resume. Democrats in his district say they have had enough.
Watching this slow George Santos train wreck take place, we need to stand together because we do not want to be represented by a class.
Top Republicans in Washington have commented on this issue, have not commented on this issue so far. A House committee has officially released 6 years of former President Trump's tax returns. Elizabeth Schulze has more from Washington.
After a years-long battle, former President Trump's tax returns from 2015 to 2020 are now public. The documents released by the Democratic-controlled House Ways and Means Committee raise questions about the former president's status as a self-described billionaire. During the year of his 2016 presidential campaign, Trump claimed a net loss of $32 million, paying just $750 in federal income tax, a sum he also paid in 2017 and 2020 while in office, contradicting his own claims.
Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
In 2018, the adjusted gross income of the former president and first lady went up to more than $24 million, and they reported paying nearly $1 million in taxes. In 2019, the two reported making $4.4 million and paid more than $133,000 in taxes. The House committee also revealed Trump's returns weren't audited for the first 2 years of his presidency until lawmakers requested them as part of their investigation into IRS audit practices. That's despite an IRS rule requiring mandatory audits while presidents or vice presidents are in office.
People will likely be surprised about the extent to which the IRS was not conforming to their own.
Top Republicans standing firm with the former president.
Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee have unleashed a dangerous new political weapon.
In a statement, Trump said the tax returns show that his businesses have been successful, and he says the public release of the documents is a dangerous two-way street. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
As we look forward to 2023, we are looking back at 2022. Up next, a look at the year in entertainment. What made headlines in Tinseltown? Coming up next. It is time now for What's Trending. The entertainment headlines of 2022 were certainly unpredictable. Jathan Nasonson has a look at the top stories to come out of Hollywood during the past year.
A couple of things nobody had on their 2022 bingo card at the beginning of the year: that Will Smith would slap Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars, and Kanye West would declare his love for Hitler. But both happened during this crazy year. Smith slapped Rock after Rock made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her close-cropped hair, the result of a disease called alopecia. Rock apparently didn't know about the condition. An enraged Smith marched on stage and smacked Rock in the face, earning him a 10-year ban from the award show. He also resigned as a member of the Academy. Kanye West is the celebrity who possibly most went off the rails in 2022. Ye, who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, frequently spewed conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic beliefs, which led Adidas and The Gap to cut ties with the rapper.
And the allegations were...
Johnny Depp and ex-wife Amber Heard's libel trials were must-see TV, bringing outrageous revelations of messy sheets and domestic abuse. The jury awarding Depp more than $10 million in damages, but also giving Heard $2 million. After threats of appeals, they've since settled. Harvey Weinstein, also back on trial in 2022, convicted once again of rape and other sexual assault counts in Los Angeles. The former movie mogul facing more decades in prison, on top of the 23-year sentence he's currently serving in New York.
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
The box office tried to rebound from the pandemic in 2022, but it couldn't fully recover. Top Gun Maverick, one of the few movies to take off. To date, only it, Jurassic World Dominion, and Avatar: The Way of Water have earned $1 billion worldwide, compared to 9 films that earned $1 billion in 2019.
Coda!
At the Oscars, Coda made history, the first film featuring a mostly deaf cast to win Best Picture, and the first film from a streaming service, Apple, to win Best Picture. Apple TV Plus also winning Best Comedy at the Emmys again for Ted Lasso. HBO scoring a bunch of Emmys for The White Lotus, and Best Drama winner, Succession. Taylor Swift once again dominated the music world, dropping her 10th studio album, Midnights, which became the biggest selling album in years. Swift also made history with the songs from Midnights occupying spots 1 through 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. First time that's ever happened. Nice. Bad Bunny also had a huge year. His album Un Verano Sin Ti was Apple Music and Spotify's most streamed of the year globally, and the first Spanish-language album nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys.
Well, stay with us. Tim Miller is up next with your holiday weekend forecast.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Well, here's a temperature swing, 30 degrees Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve will be pushing near 70. My goodness, which one do you like better? You like this one or this one? For me, I'll take the 70 any old day. All right, here it is. We have a Viper 6 alert issued for one of the reasons is this. We have a marginal risk now of severe weather for all the counties shaded in green. That's the entire CSRA. This is for tomorrow, and a marginal risk means that isolated severe storms are possible. So it's the lowest certainly on the risk, but that risk certainly is there tomorrow. Happy New Year indeed. There's our alert day Saturday, 68 to near 70. Some of us will see a 70, 72. Definitely 70 for Sunday, with an opportunity certainly of some sunshine. That'll be nice. 62 currently at Bush Field, 64 at Daniel Field. A little cooler, 59 in Aiken. Humidity and dew point up with that southeast wind. Viper 6 alert day posted for Saturday. Rain and a few thunderstorms. It will be a warm day. The sun comes back New Year's Day and temperatures will climb into the 70s. Yay. So the clouds all over us tonight and a few little light showers well to our south. Here's the broader perspective, and there's the showers and rain, all with that cold front that's off towards the east, and that is moving in our direction. Front's moving east. The weather itself is moving off towards the northeast. So here is Futurecast. 11 o'clock tonight, we'll start to see some showers roll into the viewing area, but it really won't be to the overnight hours. I think we have an opportunity of some thunderstorms. We'll catch a break, and then another batch will move in by tomorrow evening. And by 11 o'clock, right now, the thinking is the front moves through, and we'll clear the skies out for a pretty nice New Year's Day on Sunday with high pressure overhead. Still have some clouds around, but I think we'll ditch those clouds later on and bring back some really great conditions, and it will be nice and warm. So Futurecast tonight, 11 o'clock, the rain starts to move on in here. You'll notice we have some of these darker cells, and that's certainly some thunderstorms, some thunder, a little lightning with that, maybe some gusty winds. There's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's 8, another little batch rolls on in. Notice we'll catch a bit of a break. And then, by early afternoon, I think we'll have some thunderstorms start to pop here. Again, that's what we'll have to watch for, a strong storm or two. Notice then there's 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Not overly widespread, so they're sort of isolated in nature. There's 7, and then once we get past 7 o'clock, boom, skies will clear. For Sunday, it's a pretty nice morning. We'll start off with some clouds. Certainly a warm day. We'll break out to some sunshine by afternoon time, and just overall, a lovely way to start New Year's Day. All right, how much rain? Maybe a half inch to an inch in places. I highly doubt this thing's moving awfully fast. If we get over an inch of rain, I'd be surprised. Not certainly worried about any flooding. So the timeline would be midnight tonight, in essence 11 o'clock to midnight, through about 9 o'clock Saturday morning, or Saturday night rather, when everything's done. Rain and a few thunderstorms, some with some gusty winds. Warmer and muggy, and just watch for debris on the road. That wind's going to maybe throw some limbs around here and there, even the gusty winds, and with New Year's Eve going on, I want you to be careful. 68 tomorrow, 70 on Sunday. We'll do a streak of 70s before we get to more of a reality check by next Friday. 52, the overnight low for tonight with our showers that will start to move in late. For tomorrow, periods of showers and a few thunderstorms. It'll be warm. It'll be muggy, believe it or not, with temperatures pushing around 70 degrees. Our 10-day forecast, 70 New Year's Day, 72 for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll finally cool it off as we get into the later half of the 10-day, Tiffany, but that's a great way to start New Year's Day.
I love that. Now I can put my New York snow jacket away for a while.
Put that thing away, right.
At least for now.
For now, yes.
All right, well, right now, Amazon is reportedly working on its own sports content app. The company currently owns the rights to stream NFL's Thursday night football and soccer matches in the UK. A new report from The Information shows the sports app in development could improve Amazon's efforts to strengthen its content through Prime Video. There is no timetable on if or when the app will be rolled out. Well, someone could become a multi-millionaire as we head into 2023. The Mega Millions jackpot soaring to $685 million. We'll hear from people playing about what they do with all that money next. Well, it would be a nice way to end the new year by becoming a mega millionaire. That is the dream of millions of lotto players. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot sits at $685 million. DeMarco Morgan has more on that lotto fever.
Lotto fever sweeping the nation as we get ready to ring in the new year. The massive Mega Millions jackpot soaring to $640 million, up a whopping $75 million within the last few days.
Certainly the excitement is there with players, and you know, the more tickets that are bought, the higher that jackpot is going to go, and that's why we're seeing it growing the way we are.
This pot has been growing since October. It's the biggest prize ever offered around New Year's. The lump sum, an estimated $328 million. Not a bad way to start 2023.
Trying to start that new year with perhaps a new life and a new vacation spot.
But it's not just the players with visions of dollar signs dancing in their heads. Store owners too. If they sell a winning ticket, they get a piece of the pie.
Yes, I'm a winner too. I'm excited for that too.
In California, Joe Shahayat winning $1 million when his store sold that record $2 billion Powerball jackpot last month. Money he plans to spend on family.
I'm going to spend it on my kids and my grandchildren.
And in Huntley, Illinois, store owner Jose Joseph won a small share of the prize money when he sold a winning lottery ticket. With his share of the winnings, Jose chose to pay it forward.
I shared with all my employees their hard work. Also, I invest some money into the community in Huntley.
Jose was very generous with his winnings. He gave back to his employees, local firefighters, and the community. As for the drawing tonight, the money is still on the table for you. So for those of you saying, you know, I probably won't play because my chances of winning are slim, they are. But to quote Jose, if you don't play, you don't win. DeMarco Morgan, ABC News, Altadena, California.
Well, Jose is right. That's reminding me that I need to go get my ticket tonight.
Absolutely, me too. On the way. Gotta do it.
Well, I am back at 7 on News Channel 6, but Jenny Montgomery is here now to tell us what is coming up on News Channel 6 at 6.
Thank you, Tiffany.